Look, he's had the issues with injuries this season. There has to be an element of sympathy. The huge injuries he's had, the sort of, the issues with one or two of the younger players as well, and then just to sort of start having a go at pundits and critics.
But he's having a go at you. Ten Hag, you are clueless. Boss slams the boo boys, says it's Ten Hag headline on the back.
Sorry, when you say boo boys, are you saying the sort of the
I think
pundits,
it means
the
everybody.
Players?
It means Gary Neville, Scholes, Ferdinand,
Scholes, Ferdinand and Gary Neville played for that great club with great distinction.
Says they know nothing about football.
Well, they know everything about Manchester United. They know so much about football. Gary Neville, as we've discussed, is one of the best pundits in the country. Roy Keane, ditto. Scholes and Rio, good pundits. And they've got, they speak with knowledge of, having played and having watched Manchester United. And there is an emotional connection when they make a criticism about Manchester United. They're not just sort of, doing it because they want to damn Manchester United down. It's because they care and they want them to improve. And Ten Hag doesn't understand that. So, look, I just think his press conferences, I don't think they do him too many favours because there should be sympathy over there. Look, he's lost Alessandro Martinez, who's an outstanding centre-half. He's lost Luke Shaw, and if you lose Luke Shaw at left-back, you lose a certain percentage of Marcus Rashford's ability to impose himself on games. Rashford obviously needs to focus more, I get that. And the injuries elsewhere. So, when he's playing Casemiro and Johnny Evans as centre-halves, I mean, was it sort of 66, 67 years between them? These are, good professionals, but they're not the most mobile of centre-halves.
There is a question that people think Ten Hag's a little bit deluded, or he tries to misrepresent things in his press conferences, and he says there are many people who see the problems. They are patient. The fans have the patience. We've seen it many times. The fans always support us. We're together. We're unified. But then he says things like he then says things like, in fairness to the Manchester United fans, they are absolutely 100% behind the team. And, they support them. The away fans have been absolutely fantastic as they were at Crystal Palace when their team was an embarrassment to the shirt. So, absolutely, he should praise the fans. When you've got former players, don't give them more fuel for their fire. Just say respects their opinion, and he will talk to them, and he will just not necessarily learn from them, but absorb what they're saying. Don't have a go at Keane and Neville because they've probably got a platform to hit back. The problem is with Man United, there are 50 different critics who are well-known former players who are all piling in, and if it was Neville yesterday, it's Ferdinand today, and it's somebody like Scholes tomorrow. So you never get away from it because there are so many of them.
Manchester United are not Ajax. Ajax are a huge club, obviously got a lot of famous. They do get, but you look at Manchester United, he has the most scrutinised football job, probably away from the England manager, maybe even including that in the country. You look at social media, you look at the fans' forums, you look at the huge level of interest in Manchester United. They're the biggest club in the world after Real Madrid, probably. So that scrutiny on Ten Hag. So act with the authority of a Manchester United manager and just don't sort of get into pointless fights with critics.
Still on the Sunday Mirror, actually, is an exclusive by Simon Mullock saying that Steve McLaren is set to escape the United cull. There's expected to claim Erik Ten Hag and the rest of his backroom team. The great survivor, McLaren, our old friend from England days, and of course the coach to the 1999 treble winning side, and he's got close ties with Ineos, so he's going to be sticking around no matter what.
Do you remember that extraordinary press conference before Barcelona? Actually, going into that sort of treble week or fortnight, and we sat down with Steve McLaren.
An hour late.
Yeah, and he'd had 30 games where Manchester United were unbeaten, and he was sort of rather proud of that because they sort of connected with his timing. Look, he's a very good number two. He's a very good coach. He's loyal.
Absolutely panning him when
he wasn't a number one. He wasn't a number one.
But I mean, is he doing a great job at Man United now, given their difficulties? I know Ten Hag likes him, and it goes back to their days together in Holland.
Well, Ten Hag will take the heat on all that. I think McLaren, will walk away unscathed. Whether he should necessarily stay at Manchester United, but everyone talks about the sort of the critics and people like us talking about Ten Hag. There's only one person who really matters in all this, and that's Sir Jim Ratcliffe. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe, if you look at his career, if you look at Ineos, it's the pursuit of excellence.
He's been annoying a few people, though, with his, tidy up things here in the IT department, picking on the little man, if you like, or the little woman.
Yeah, who was it? Someone came out with a lovely tweet during the week that Manchester United lost 4-0 at Crystal Palace because sort of Debbie from accounts was working from home. Well, it wasn't like that. And behind the scenes at Manchester United, and maybe this is, the Glazers affected this, but traditionally Manchester United have looked after staff. This is maybe going sort of pre-Glazers. And that is absolutely vital. That's the way they do things. You looked at the way Ferguson was around the cliff, and then at Carrington, when he was there, he would know everyone's name. There was that family element. You looked after people. Everyone was pulling in the right direction. They were united in every sense. I think that ebbed under the Glazers.
I did see you tweeting this week that they need to sort out the untidiness in their own penalty area first, as opposed to around the IT department. Very good, Henry. I like that one.
Thank you.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.